Hello, people. How are you? I hope everything is okay. Happy Sunday. And of course, we have Mr. Matt, the Angry Bootnik. Hello, Matt. What? Wait,
There we go. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
I was I was muted.
Huh?
Well, I was muted because I just filmed something myself, and I needed to mute my mic while I listened to some other bloke talk complete bollocks. So
Oh no! Oh no! So did Keir Stammer quit or not?
I don't think he's officially quit. I think they said he's going to quit after the weekend. Bloody hell's up, man.
But he's saying that he's not gonna quit.
Is he
It's all
really?
over X. Yes, it's all over X. He's not leading.
Well, hang on. Let me just stream this to my team. Well, the problem with it is. It's not really up to him, is it? Because it doesn't matter what he thinks. If you've lost the party, you're not the prime minister anymore. So I think it'll be out of his hands, to be honest.
Well, I mean, what options are there? Can he be kicked out?
Yeah, he will. Yeah, it's going to get taken out of his hands, regardless of what he thinks of the matter. Because one thing you can say about him is he's the most stubborn man on earth. Like, it's almost admirable. He's got a talent for being hated by everyone and not caring. Like, it's almost admirable that Starmer just oblivious to public opinion. Well, like all tyrants, he doesn't care what the public think, but it'll be taken out of his hands. Whether or not he resigns is irrelevant. Like, he will not be the prime minister in a month's time. I guarantee you that.
So it's not sure that he will quit.
It's not certain that he'll quit, but it is certain that he's lost the support of the party. The whole reason that Andy Burnham just ran in Makerfield is so he can be the Prime Minister, basically. They don't come round and say it because they're all weasels, but that's exactly what's happened. Starmer's so unpopular with the general public for forcing all of his stuff on us that he's roundly despised. So all the Labour MPs are terrified of losing their seats in the next election. So the Labour MPs wanted Andy Burnham, because he's very popular with the working classes up north. They wanted him to be the PM, but he was the mayor of Manchester, not a sitting MP. So they railroaded a sitting MP in Makerfield to drop out so they could have a by-election. So the guy in Makerfield will have been promised whatever by the party. But essentially, that's why we just had an election in Makerfield. So they've took it out of Keir Starmer's hands. If he resigns, all the good. But if he doesn't resign, they're going to throw him out anyway. His days are over.
Somebody gifted a membership. Matt, can you explain to people
Yeah.
how this system works? Because they're Americans here, they're asking to see how that works. Why? Okay, the party. Okay, you explain it, Matt, because you're quicker than I am.
Well, basically, we don't have a president in the UK. It's a MP system. So the prime minister is picked by the party. So basically, we have the election. All the MPs take the seats depending on whether or not they won the local elections. So, you might stand in Makerfield, then you win the election, you become an MP for the area. And then at the end of the general election, they count up all the MPs. And whichever party has the most MPs, they're in charge. But basically, they select their own party leader. So we don't have a presidential election. We just have whichever party has the most MPs, they decide who they think their best leader is, and that person becomes the prime minister. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's
but
what's
it
happened.
takes it takes only 83, I believe, MPs to declare a lack of faith that they don't trust him in order for him to be ousted. Are
It
you
takes
telling me they haven't
83.
been able? Are you telling me they haven't been able to get 83 people to say you suck?
It takes 83 to trigger a vote within the party, but they obviously you need to be certain. Like, you need to get a couple of hundred, and they said that they reckon at least 200 now don't support Starmer. But the reason that they haven't done it is because Starmer called their bluff. Think about it. Like I said, when you're a tyrant, a scumbag like Starmer, and you only care about yourself and not your country or your party, Starmer just called their bluff and said, "Oh, I'm the most unpopular prime minister in history, so if you want to throw me out, I'm just going to call an election. And they knew if he called the general election, they'd all lose the seats. So basically, he was saying to them, I don't care what you guys say, because if you try and throw me out, I'll quickly call a general election. Prime Minister has the power to call the general election. So he said to them, if you want to throw me out, I'm going to call the general election. You can suck on it. And this is why we've ended up in this rigmarole. But basically, that's their plan. They want Andy Burnham to be the new PM. So the whole idea is he is expected to resign next week. Now that Burnham is an MP officially, now that they expect him to resign because he knows the writing's on the wall. But whether he goes or he doesn't, he'll get through out because they've got Burnham now, and that's who the party want to be the Prime Minister because he offers them a lifeline.
Okay, so is this guy any good? This Burnham guy?
No, he's a socialist dickhead. He's the same as Starmer. I mean, to be honest, he's got more charisma than Starmer. Starmer's like one of these coached lawyers. Like when you listen to Burnham speak, at least he like talks normally. He's like a normal sounding bloke. I think he's got more charisma than Starmer, but politically he's on the exact same page. He's a screaming socialist. These people bring ruin wherever they go.
But I mean, if they call the general election, they can still get somebody who is 100 times more decent than this asshole.
Well, what'll happen is, if Burnham comes in, they have no need to call an election. That was Starmer's little thing to keep the party in check. They don't have to give us a general election until like 2029. So they've got another 3 years in power. They don't need to.
They're still going to pick and choose whoever the hell they want.
Yeah, what they're going to do is they'll install Burnham because they know Starmer's deeply unpopular. You know what really annoys me? I feel like it was all part of the plan because they're such slippery globalist sociopaths. I feel like they got Starmer to railroad everyone, ram through all of the stuff, all the legislation, the overbearing stuff, ban social media, ban young people, let the kids vote, do all the mental shit that the public hates, crush the white working class, bring in a load of foreigners, and then codify it all, put it into legislation, and then everyone hates Starmer for all that he's done. So now he leaves, Burnham comes in, and then they spend 3 years trying to convince everyone that they're all about the white working classes again. And then they can hold a general election, and then Burnham wins the election as Prime Minister. I feel like it was all part of the plan. Like, they used Starmer to do it all because he was so dislikable. And now everyone detests him. Now they can bring the new guy in.
Okay, I get what you're saying. They used, Starmer was the useful idiot that they used to pass all their unpopular laws and whatever. And now they're going to bring the white guy to...
The new white guy. Yeah. I feel it was all part of the plan, you know what I mean? Because Starmer is unpopular because of the stuff he's done. Like, some of the overbearing authoritarian statist stuff that Starmer's done is unpopular with old-fashioned lefties who are all about, like, working classes, working rights. It's unpopular with everyone. That's what I'm saying, why he's roundly despised. Everybody, centrist and centre-right and right-wing, despises him. But even all the left hate him because he's a globalist Fabian psychopath. Like, the old-fashioned lefties hate Starmer because, for example, they just locked up a load of Palestinian activists, right? Which I don't agree with. I mean, I'm here to win, so I'm not too bothered about it. But I don't think you should be locking people up for talking, sending these anti-Semites, they use that word loosely these days, sending angry people who don't like Israel to prison for 3 years for saying they don't like the Israelis. That's authoritarian. I'm an old-fashioned conservative-leaning person. I think almost everyone should be allowed to say whatever they want all the time.
You mean free speech?
Yeah, yeah.
You can end up in jail for that.
But you know what I'm saying? They're insane in Europe compared to the Americans. This is why the Americans were sensible having the First Amendment and the Second Amendment like written into law. And it's unmovable. But in Europe, they have all these speech laws that nobody like you or I will agree with. Like, you should be allowed to basically say almost anything.
Well, in the United States, even though you were allowed to say anything, but they were canceling you because you had to say the right thing. Let's not forget how they were canceling people right, left, and
Oh, I know.
center on X and everything.
Totally agree with you, but you know what I'm saying? The power of the state wasn't behind it. Yeah, the Hollywood wankers can get involved if you say something they don't like. And they were cancelling people. Gina Carano got famously fired.
I can't
They
believe
can
it, and I really like her.
disgraceful. But they can't use the state. The state crushes you in the UK, Paula. We've got hundreds of people in prison for tweets. And like I said, I'm genuinely concerned about
they
it.
try to pull that here. They try
concerned.
to pull that here in Canada. And it was like they went to a grandma's house and because she posted that Mark Carney was an asshole or something like that. And police, three big policemen, they were like,
Exactly.
"Did you post it?" And she goes, "So fuck off."
Yeah.
And the guys are looking at, what are you going to do? Arrest a 79-year-old granny?
Yeah. Well, see, the great thing is, Canada is lucky because Canada is in such close proximity and has so many more cultural similarities with their American neighbours that they still won't put up with that. There's many, many things that the Canadians have got wrong, voting for Trudeau for as long as they did.
Ugh.
They're in a very odd place, the Canadians. They're sort of like, geographically and culturally, it's very evident to an English guy. They are both geographically and culturally right in the middle of America and Britain. So they're in an odd place. They're kind of American and kind of British and a little bit dirty French. So they're in this odd place. So they sort of vote liberal idiocy, like the Brits, but they still have more of a grasp on the freedom of speech principles espoused by their American neighbours. So that's what's saving the Canadians. But the fact that they all went round her house proves that Carney and the government, the statists, are in lockstep with the Europeans and Davos. Like, if it was up to them, she'd be in jail for the next 3 years, but that won't quite wash. It's the same in Ireland. The Irish state want to smash the natives for saying things, or like the trucker protests. They were bad enough, but they're just not quite as far along locking people up for it because obviously they've got the Americans that culturally and sort of like lean on them. It's kind of obvious to people who are British. The Canadians are a happy medium between the two, aren't they?
I want to show you this because this is very interesting because now girls are talking about this all the time.
My life there.
Wait.
I'm a woman in Islamic State. I've lived in Egypt my entire life. I just moved here 2 years ago.
Yeah, well,
Genuinely,
Egypt has...
my life there, infinitely better than my life here.
Then leave.
Infinitely better.
Then leave.
I've lived in Egypt my entire life. My life there, infinitely better than my life here.
Then go back there.
It's way more.
Go back there.
I feel way safer.
Get on a plane.
Way safer.
Buckle the fuck up.
I've never had to walk out at night and think, oh, I should have pepper spray on me.
And go to Egypt.
Never. Ever.
So go back to walking at night in Egypt.
There's no place where you would go in like Cairo, Alexandria, whatever, where you'd feel actually unsafe.
Why am I sensing Lara Logan would disagree with you?
If in an
Yes, you
Islamic
would.
state, let's say Afghanistan, let's say Iran, a woman decides to wake up and dress like that girl right there with the glasses and the shorts, is she going to be completely fine?
No.
Am I from Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan?
There are Islamic states.
Okay. There.
So is she going to be okay?
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know.
I don't know. I'm not from there.
You know.
I'm genuinely not from there.
I don't think she'd be okay.
However, okay.
I don't think she'd
Back
be
to
okay.
Egypt.
Back to Egypt. Indeed. Get the fuck out.
I mean,
She's brilliant.
she's my hero. I mean,
love that.
she's my hero. I love her, and what do you, and this lady, have you heard this before?
Protected.
have,
Nobody
yeah.
has the right to live their lives being protected from offence or from insult or from hurt feelings. It is an occupational hazard of living in society.
I mean,
Yeah, I remember that. It's quite an old one, isn't it, when she was at Oxford.
but why do old people have to be the ones with the common sense? Can I ask?
Well, because we're old now, Paula. We count as old now, so that's why we've got the common sense. I mean, the thing is, right, so both of those clips, let's do them in order. The first one is so self-evident to everyone who's got a room temperature IQ and above. You don't watch what you don't listen to what the mouth says. You watch what the hands do or the feet do, right? And the Egyptians absolute shithole that it is, are desperate to go anywhere else. Okay, they're like the Somalians. The hypocrisy disgusts me. They're desperate to go anywhere else. We've just had a massive 2-year-long campaign to get an Egyptian terrorist into England, and he's not English, and his mother wasn't English. And they're like, oh, yeah, but he was born here like an anchor baby. Like, so they've had a 2-year campaign because these people are desperate to get to the West. And then the second they turn up, they go, oh, it's much better where I was from, because they're playing the race card and they're trying to get stuff for free. They want some left-wing dickhead to see them going, oh, it was so much better in Egypt, and they'll go, oh, okay, we'll just give them things then. No, go to Egypt if you want to go, if it's so much better. We know you're telling lies because you don't watch the lips, you watch the feet. If she believed that Egypt was better, she'd be back in Egypt, she'd get the first. If I believed my hometown was better than California, I'd book the flight on my phone right now and I'd be there tomorrow. And they don't do it. And the Somalians don't do it. And the Pakistanis don't do it. And the Indians don't do it. And they come over here and they cry and they say, oh, it was way better in my home country. Well, go on a plane and get back there then. You know the airport, you know where it is. Get an Uber, you can be back there tonight. But you won't because you're a liar.
But also, Matt, okay. If things are that bad, why did you come back? Or why are you here to begin with? If you're living in paradise, is my volume less now? Is it okay better? Because people were complaining I was too loud.
Maybe I'm too loud.
No, it's mine.
I'll put mine down a bit.
So the thing is, though, why are they there? And if they were in their country, they wouldn't be able to be in the street bitching about their country because they would be in jail. Can you imagine going to Iran? I hate Iran. I hate their regime. Up you go, 100 lashes, what, 100 lashes if you survive.
Yeah, you'll have a very sore ass if you say that in Iran, at the minimum. The thing is, this is what I'm saying, they do it in America and it pisses me off, and I'm only a new American, it pisses me off, because they love to take to the streets in America with like Palestine flags and Pakistan flags and India flags and Mexico flags even. Again, I'm not slagging them off because I do generally, Mexicans integrate really well and they're nice people. But when you get the far left ones, that's what they do. They get the Mexico flags out, the Palestine flags, and they wave the flags and they say death to America and they burn the American flag. And they don't realise that their actions prove America's superiority, because the very fact that you're burning an American flag and saying death to America in an American city proves that America is 10 times the nation that you hail from. Sorry, the shithole, the raging shit pit that you hail from. Because if you tried to do that in Iran or Pakistan or any of these places, Palestine, you would get murdered. At best, you'd get dragged off to a cell by the state police. And at worst, you just get kicked to death by an angry mob. That's what they do in places like Pakistan. Have you seen how many times they've done it in Pakistan? Whenever a woman annoys them, they just say, oh, she's been a blasphemer. And then an angry mob just tears it to pieces in the streets. And then these cheeky bastards turn up in places like the UK and Canada and the United States and say, oh, it's much better in my country. Nobody believes them. It's preposterous.
And why the hell are you here? You know, this is the thing. To me, there shouldn't be any tolerance. Better in your country? I don't believe in flag burning, by the way. To have a foreigner come and burn the flag of my country in my country, that is, you're burning the flag of a country, of a whole nation. That is a symbol of a nation and cultures and beliefs. You don't see anybody burning the flag of Pakistan because they wouldn't be allowed. There has to teach them respect. It really does bother me when they do that, Matt, because that is a symbol of a nation. And they're coming to the nation, being on welfare, getting all the benefits, and still bitching about it, mistreating us people, and on top of that, complaining and burning the flag.
Yeah, no, I agree with you in principle, but what I'm saying is, I do agree that the Americans have the right of it to allow this to go on, because every action they take proves the superiority and the tolerance of the American people. Like, I could go outside now and burn a Pakistan flag. My neighbours would just think I was being a dick. Like I wouldn't get. I'd be like, hey, you lads never lived in England. Trust me, they're a pain up the arse. This lot. But you know what I'm saying?
If you're burning a Pakistani flag, you probably end up in jail in the UK.
You would in the UK. No, I agree with the American way of doing it. The Americans allow it to happen. And
But to me, it's a
good on them.
disrespect that these
It's
people are
very
allowed to get away with.
disrespectful. I'm not saying I'm promoting it. What I'm saying is, yeah,
No.
I
If you're
wouldn't.
an
I've never
American
burned a flag.
citizen, born and bred there, but if you're an immigrant who's not even a citizen and you're
Yeah.
doing that, that sends red flags to me, man. Why would I give you citizenship if you're an asshole like this and you're spitting? You're a terrorist in the making. Let me show you Lauren. She's a friend of mine. She's a YouTuber, and she was just because she's confronting about the gang
Well,
rapes and
that's
everything.
it then. Don't ask if any of them want to talk.
Yeah, give them the opportunity.
Would anyone like to talk about Rupert Lowe's independent inquiry into the mass rape of a minimum of 250,000 British children? Anyone? Anyone?
Of course
Right,
not.
no. Are you bothered? Are you bothered about the mass rape of children? No, they don't care, and this
So
is the
none
problem.
of them are prepared
So-
to speak to you.
Have you all been given your official lines, or you don't know what you're meant to say? No? Right. Well, that's it then. They don't know what they're meant to say.
That's Lauren, my friend. She's a YouTuber, you know, and it's incredible. I've had people in Mexican community call her Eva Braun and a Nazi because she's defending the white communities in the United Kingdom. She's for freedom of speech. She's anti-gang raping children.
Yeah,
Oh,
weird
wow.
that, isn't
Isn't
it?
that what a weird value?
Weird.
to have?
Burning flags is normal, but being against ritual abuse of children, that's totally freaky. You know what I'm saying, though? All this stuff is good for normal freedom-loving people because, like, that footage is good. The burning the flags is good. I mean, I agree with you on that one. If you're an immigrant still and you're like on a green card or something and you come to America and you're burning the American flag, I agree with you that we're there. I mean, they should just strip them of their citizenship. If they're dumb enough to like show what they are in public, I agree with that. Like, I definitely, if you were recently granted citizenship or you've just got a green card or a work permit and you move to America and you burn an American flag, just take them straight to the airport, give them a parachute and throw
That's
them
what
out
I
of
mean.
whatever
That's what I
country
mean,
they
Matt.
come from.
I
Yeah.
am open. If
Yeah.
you're an American and you're angry because, let's say, Obama or Clinton, whatever, they're doing something terrible, fine. But if you're an immigrant, you don't speak English or you barely do, you're not even a resident or anything. You're not even paying taxes because they're on welfare. And you're gonna come to Canada, United States, and I'm gonna burn your flag because I hate you. It's like danger, you know, like
Yeah. No, that's right.
get the
I
fuck
agree with
out. Out you
Yeah.
go. I mean,
No,
put him in jail first and then send him out.
yeah, no, I do agree with you on that. What I'm getting at is, I'm talking about Americans burning flags. I'm saying
give them a pass.
the fact that we get away with it is proof that our superior society and our tolerance. But yeah, I mean, if it's an immigrant, Jesus, that's there. If
I
you're
just
like,
picture you and I go, are you an immigrant? You're burning a flag.
I know.
You're
What I'm
taking
saying is, because this is, I mean, I've said this about cruelty to animals, right? Because obviously I'm pretty right wing on crime. If someone like tortures an animal,
That's it for me, buddy.
like they are one bad day away from killing a person because you've genuinely got to have something wrong with your brain to want to torture like a puppy or a kitten. So I've always been like, we should be 5 times more strict with animal abuse than we are. But what I'm getting at is, same thing. If someone can be bothered to order an American flag, buy the flag, go to the protest, take the gasoline with them, light the American flag, if they can be bothered to do all that, they are one bad day away from just becoming a terrorist and blowing up a shopping mall. So as far as I'm concerned, if some foreigner is thick enough to go to a protest and say death to America and burn the American flag, 100%, I'd strip them of green cards, strip them of citizenships if they only moved here in the last sort of 20
That is
years.
a red alert, Matt.
just throw them out.
Seriously speaking, that is a red alert because that means you have a hostile individual in your
Unbelievable.
country who is going to do harm to you if he does that as an immigrant. Can you imagine? He can be a terrorist cell because, you know, that if they feel emboldened to do that without having a green card or just even asylum seekers, can you imagine?
Oh yeah,
No,
yeah.
buddy,
So I'm
no,
saying it's a
buddy.
red flag, isn't it? It's if they're dumb enough to do it, throw them out. And the British are tolerant. Well, it's suicidal empathy with the British, isn't it? We have people who molest, torture, and abuse local girls say you're all white trash and you're all slags, British sluts, and then the British government not only doesn't strip them of citizenship, sometimes they don't even send them to jail. There's been dozens of stories where they've gone, oh, it's not their fault, it's a cultural issue, we'll just give them a fine. Like, anyone who does that is supporting terrorism against British people. Like, there's at least 100,000 people on watch lists in the United Kingdom who should be instantly stripped of their citizenship if they've got it, work permits if they haven't, and every single one of them deported back to Pakistan or India or Somalia or whichever Mohammedan shit pit they come from. And I can't believe how tolerant and liberal we are. This is what I'm saying about the superiority of our society. The Americans, the Canadians, the Brits, all the Anglos especially, we're tolerant to the point where it's a ridiculous degree. Like, these people will openly call for death.
Yeah.
And we go, oh yeah, but freedom of speech. It's like, yeah, but you're a guest in the country.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like that dickhead, one testicle Prince Harry, who is in the United States. He should have been kicked out. You have to admit that Trump is doing this wrongly, because he shouldn't have been allowed. They're not releasing. I don't want to see his medical documents. All I want to see is ESTA, whether he could take, yes, I do drugs, because he's still doing them. He went out and he's been talking about it, and yet he's trashing the United States way of living. That he thinks that the First Amendment is bonkers. And I'm thinking, like, these people should not be allowed to speak or like you said, they're a guest. If I go to your house, can you imagine, Matt, if you come to my house or I go to your house and I'm like, oh, this is a shithole, like I do it better in my house, and maybe my house is worse than yours, but I go to your house and you're letting me stay. It's like, did you see Matt Way? But what would you would be an idiot to let me stay.
Well, if you visited my house in Middlesbrough and called it a shithole, I'd be quite pleased, because only the best houses in Middlesbrough graduate to shithole status.
But you know what I mean, right?
In California, I'd be angry. Yeah, I'd throw your house.
But let me show you something, because they should do what they do in Poland. And it's too bad that they didn't I speak some Polish, so it's too bad that they didn't translate it properly in the subtitles. This is about a Polish man. He has his front lawn, right? And suddenly he goes out to his front lawn, and there are these Muslims doing the prayer in his front lawn, right? So you can imagine that he wasn't happy, right? So listen to what...
On his lawn?
Yeah, it's his lawn way.
What was that?
Nie ma żadnego... Nie jebie was Allah, tu jest Polska i nie będziecie rozkładać dywanów. Wszystko w temacie.
Carpets.
Wait.
Żadny rasizm, kurwa, to wy swoją religię tu wpierdalacie.
They all know that word. They all know that word.
Kurwa is fuck. Like... Wait.
It's the first word they learn, racist. First word they learn.
Rozumiesz? Polska, Jezus Chrystus i tyle, i wszystko w temacie. Gdzie kurwa rozkładać, gdzie chcecie jakieś dywany i swoje modły robić, co to ma być?
Your fancy rugs.
Chcesz się pomodlić? Chcesz się pomodlić? Idź do kościoła. Albo do swojej świątyni. A nie kurwa w miejscu publicznym będziesz dywany rozkładał. Nie ma żadnej gadki.
There's no fucking debate.
Chcesz do swojego kurwa kościoła, rób sobie co chcesz. Tu jest Polska.
This is Poland. Why can't people do this?
If he did that in England, he'd get 5 years for it. I'm telling you, they're doing for. You can do them for ethnic and religious hatred. You can do them for racial discrimination. He'd get locked up for that in England. He'd get 5 years. If Lucy Connolly got 3 years for tweeting, he'd get 5 years for that.
How much did Lucy get?
She got 3 years for a tweet.
And she did it when she was postpartum depression. She had lost her child. And it wasn't even a terrible tweet or anything. She didn't advocate for violence or anything.
She did it 4 hours after a gang of children got butchered by an African in the worst atrocity that we've ever seen in British history. As far
I can
as
tell
I'm
you one
concerned,
thing. In Latin America, they don't make it to jail.
No, well,
people don't waste time with that. What the police do, because it also saves resources for the police. It's like,
Every single game these scumbags play disgusts me now. Like, it's mad how I went from being literally like 8 years ago, I was like, oh, I like Bernie Sanders. Now I'm like, I'm proper like Trump's flag bearer. But it's the endless hypocrisy. It disgusts and repulses me. Like, for example, every single person that tweeted anything objectionable after Southport, when they were beaming those little girls' faces out to the world, should have just had a blanket green open pass, even if they did say possibly illegal things, because the nation was grieving. Like, I didn't know those children personally, but I was angry as angry as I've ever been. Angrier than I was when I was in Afghanistan and they were literally trying to murder me. I got pretty angry when some pot-bellied dwarf was shooting at me with an AK-47. I was like, the little twat. But I wasn't as angry as I was when I seen those pictures. I was furious. And the nation was grieving. And the thing that really disgusts me about this endless hypocrisy is the left, every single time there's an incident, they talk about compassion and understanding because it's all a political game. It's lies. If someone attacks a woman, they go, oh, but he had a bad childhood. If some Pakistani savages some children, they go, oh, yeah, but he's got PTSD from the war. They always want compassion and understanding. But when Lucy Connolly tweeted something against their ideology in an hour after we've seen his children get massacred, they didn't ask for tolerance and understanding then. Then they went, how dare she, crush her, she should throw her in jail. They were laughing when she got locked up. So you can see that it's a political game. Again, it's the hypocrisy of the left. At least we're consistent. When you're right-wing, you're consistent on crime and punishment. Right-wingers are right-wing on crime. That's why we know what you mean when you say I'm right-wing on crime. We mean smash them, crush them, jail them, copy Bukele, death penalty in the worst cases. That's what it means to be right-wing on crime. So when we see someone do something despicable, white, brown, Christian or anything else, we say that was despicable, lock them up or hang them. But they filter through the political lens, and if you're a fighting age African man who butchers children, they go, oh yeah, but we have to be compassionate. But if you're a white woman called Lucy who lost a child and you're upset because you've seen pictures of dead babies, they say, she is scum, lock her up for 10 years, ha ha. Charlie Kirk got murdered on television, let's all have a laugh about that as well. These people are repellent, disgusting hypocrites in every single thing you think about.
This is funny. Look what's on the internet here on X. It says, Keir Starmer will, this is Trump, will resign as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. He failed badly on two very important subjects, immigration and energy. I wish him well, President Donald J. Trump. I mean, this is embarrassing. This is an embarrassment. Don't you think so?
I love it. I love how Trumpy Bear's got the first boot in, even though he hasn't resigned yet. It's just like, oh, he will, because he's a maggot. Yeah, I love it. I love
you know what I mean? And did you see that Charles is allegedly going to post what he pays in taxes? Did you see that?
Apparently, yeah, I did hear that, yeah.
I don't think he's going to post all of it.
Mm.
I think he gets to choose. This is how unpopular. You know that from the beginning of the year and now, the monarchy has dropped 11 points, which is insane. For the first time in like since the Queen, even Queen Elizabeth in the 1992s and even when Princess Diana died and she didn't do the speech, the monarchy has always been in 70% liking, 80%. The lowest the Queen had was 71%, and everybody was outraged. She was below 80. It's 55% and dipping. And so, because can you imagine?
Well, they're going to get hoisted by their own petard, aren't they? Because the reason people like me, even, like I said, working class northern men like me, with no real interest in the monarchy, of course we don't care. The only people who had the plate and the Diana Memorial mug was like your granny and stuff. Like, it's not something that young lads care about. But if you're if you're from somewhere, hearth and home, patriotism, you were a reluctant monarchist anyway, because you're like conserving the past. That's what a conservative is. So even people like me, you know, male, agnostic, not emotional or sentimental, I still was a reluctant monarchist, because you were like, We've had this for thousands of years. This is part of our nation. So who cares? Keep the monarchy. But if you replace 50% of your capital city, if you replace 50% of your
recognize
capital,
this, right? You
of
recognize
course I do. Yeah,
This is Jimmy Savile with
I'm sure most of you. I'm sure most of your viewers don't recognise it. But you know what I'm saying? How are you going to keep the monarchy popular when you've replaced all of the English lads with Somalians and Pakistanis and Indians? You think they're going to be pro-monarchy? It's self-evidently ridiculous.
No, but it's insanity because even with the Henry Nowak, you know, and you and I had this conversation before, Matt, because you don't have to trash Islam people in order to say my condolences to this young man, because this is a very high profile case worldwide, people taking the knee, except that wanker Stammer, you know. Didn't he take the knee for thank you, Melissa Nair. Didn't he take the knee for George Floyd or some shit like that? Somebody took the knee for that
He
guy
did,
in
yeah.
the UK.
No, Starmer did, yeah. Again,
It was
Starmer and Rayner, that was the PM and the deputy PM at the time. Recently, they were both photographed taking the knee and they put it all over social media. So yeah, he took a knee for a foreign drug addict, but she does look like E.T., doesn't she?
Haven't you seen Candace Owen? She has an ET doll that she calls Brigitte. You haven't seen Candace with Brigitte doll? It's
I
ET, literally with a blonde wig, which is I find it hilarious. I find it hilarious. But this is real. This is reality.
I think E.T.'s got nicer legs than Brigitte. He's got nice pins on E.T. It's it's mental, isn't it? Of course they're done. Of course they're done. The monarchy's ruined if they're going to import foreigners. Why would they care about the monarchy?
No, I understand that. But look, these are one of them is the first lady for sure. I mean,
love
Matt. I don't even know. I'm not being mean, I swear to God, but it's just
maybe a little bit mean. Is it true that Big Mike's like 6 foot tall? I mean, how true is that?
Oh, she's taller than that. Big Mike is tall.
I saw a thing and it was like, this woman is 6'2". I was like, surely she's not that tall. Surely.
She is.
Like, that is gigantic if it's for a woman. Let me Google it. I'm going to actually, how tall is, I'll type in Michelle, Google won't know who Big Mike is. How tall is, no, it says, Google said she's 5'11".
That can be because she's tall as Barack Obama.
One of the tallest first ladies in US history. So she is massive.
How tall is Melania?
It says sharing the title with Eleanor Roosevelt and Melania Trump. So I guess Eleanor and Melania were 5'11" as well, or near. Let's try Melania.
I gotta say, there's something about Big Mike, isn't it?
Yeah, Melania's 5'11" as well. But at least she hasn't got... Well, Melania was a model. Models have got to be tall. Big Mike's got mannish hands and you know, thick knuckles and thick phallus. Of course. I didn't think she was that big. It'd be preposterous if Big Mike was 6'2". I was like, she should be playing women's NBA. Women's NBA is just a charity for very, very tall lesbians. I can't believe.
What do you make of the gang rape thing that Stammer was part of it and he was a prosecutor of that and he never.
Yeah, well, we all know this. Again, it's like going on about it's almost boring, isn't it? Because we've just talked for about 40 minutes. All the stuff Starmer's done is political games, kneeling for George, ignoring Henry. It's like, of course he was. Of course he was. I mean, for your American audience, if they don't know, Keir Starmer was indeed the head of the Crown Prosecution Service in like 2010 when he sent out a circular to every police department in the United Kingdom telling them, we have decided that these women have made a choice about what they get up to with these Pakistani men, so it's not your business to get involved with any of it. So, I mean, that's not news to anyone paying attention. It's exactly in lockstep with all of his beliefs. The one thing he has been consistent with in his beliefs, and you have to give him his credit, the one thing he's always been consistent about is being a socialist scum-sucking shitbag. He's been this way. He's been this way for 20 years. So you've got to give none of this is a surprise to anyone who knows Keir Starmer's character.
No, but it's incredible. You know that Mr. Norman Baker, the former MP, he
Mm.
was literally hated because he wanted the law was there to punish people for genital circumcision of women, right? Because of Sharia law. There were punishment was there, but was not being enforced. So he literally had to fight everybody in parliament to enforce the law. He saved over, I think, about almost 100,000 girls from that happening.
Yeah.
But this is why do you have laws about Sharia law in the UK, man?
Well, I'll pick you up
Why
for
is
one thing.
that a thing? Why is that a thing?
Because the MPs pander to the Mohammedans. Everybody knows that. I have to tell you off as well, Paula. Laura's my wife, Paula. I have to tell you off because you called it female circumcision, and that's the politically correct left-wing way of referring to it. It's definitely not female circumcision. It's genital mutilation.
That's the
is
word
what
that
it
I was
is.
looking. I
That
couldn't remember.
sounds-
I just know because I know the law. I know
You
that how
speak,
that, that's how
you
they
speak
wrote it
too
in
many
law.
languages because you're much more cultured than I am. But yeah, never call it circumcision because it's mutilation.
No, no,
So
no. I didn't know. I know. I'm sorry. I apologize, and you're right. They're
it's mutilation.
mutilating the girls. It's just the way that the law is phrased in the Sharia law,
Yeah,
you
and
know.
I'm
And
saying,
this
but
is what
they
Norman
do it.
Baker was saying.
They call it that because it sounds better. So always call it FGM. It's mutilation. I mean, for example, many American men and myself, I got circumcised, and at no point was a meat cleaver or a broken bottle involved. So let's call
Why
it
am
what
I
it is.
laughing about these things?
Yeah,
I should be
yeah.
laughing.
Well, things are getting boring. Let's talk about cock for a bit. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? It's like it's mutilation. It's mutilation, is what it
It's
is.
horrible, and
Disgraceful.
they
Yeah.
do it as much pain as possible. And it's like, but I've been shocked. The newspapers, it's literally people on YouTubers who are angry about this. Mainstream media, maybe one or two articles, but other than that, nothing. It's absolute silence. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Did you see the guy that was running around shirtless? I don't know where it was in the UK or Scotland or something like that, with a
In
machete
Edinburgh.
or something. In
Yeah.
Edinburgh. Yeah, there you go. And because he was so angry about what was happening, right?
Yeah.
Immediately, he's a terrorist. This is that. How about
I
that
know.
other fucking wanker black guy, Islamic guy? Oh no, he's too mentally unstable. He doesn't deserve to be arrested, thrown to the floor, and accused of terrorism. No,
I know.
he's mentally stable. He's complaining about his religion.
I know it's preposterous. Actually, I covered it briefly. I'll put a link in the chat for everyone to watch. I literally just made a video about it about 2 hours ago. But
Put it here so we can share.
essentially, what I'd say about it, Paula, is it's as usual. It's a political game that they're playing because nobody was seriously injured. Nobody had to stay overnight in hospital. It was a minor incident where there was a stabbing, and there's 20 stabbings every weekend in London, and it doesn't warrant any column inches. No one even talks about it. There's so many stabbings on a weekend in the UK. It's like shootings in Chicago. They don't even put it on the news. There's so many
me.
shootings in Chicago. They don't talk about it. They're like, oh,
Are you
you're
serious?
yeah, they don't care. So this is a political game. Nobody got killed. It's probably a mental case or a drunk or whatever's wrong with him. And he got pissed up and he had an episode and he went mental and he tried to hurt people, but he didn't. That's the story. And I made this short video. I said, you know what? I'm going to keep this short because once again, it's a political game. If Axel Rudu Kabunu or what's his name, Salman Abedi, blows up 30 women and kids at a concert, the media covers it for 2 days, and the whole time they say, don't look back in anger, don't look back in anger, and everybody sings and plays Imagine on a piano. And then a guy does this, and he attacks grown men and nobody else, and nobody gets seriously injured. And for 2 weeks they say, oh, this is phobia, the phobia. It's not a phobia. The Babylon Bee did a funny piece about it that I put in the video, where they said, oh, groundbreaking study suggests that the phobia comes from Muslims constantly blowing things up and murdering people. It's like, no, it's not a phobia. A phobia is an irrational fear. Like arachnophobia is irrational because a house spider can't bite you, right? So that's irrational. But I'm sorry, after the Manchester Evening News bombing, after 9/11, 7/7, Bataclan, Beslan, Madrid, Brussels, Belgium, Nice truck attack, Charlie Hebdo, 250,000 victims in England. I can reel these off for an hour. If I try to read you the names of everybody killed, I'm not even exaggerating. Think of 9/11. What was it? 2,250 people or something was the butcher's bill, including 250 from the UK. If I was to try and read the names from the butcher's bill at the hands of Islamic extremism in the last 2 decades, it'd take me a week. That's not a phobia. That is a rational, logical fear of a desert fiction that has been peddled by extremists for decades. And for some reason, because our insane leaders are happy to criticise anyone that has my particular complexion or my religious upbringing, but they will make excuses for anyone who's got a bit of a tan. And it all goes back to Marxist and communist political theory, the victim pyramid. That's where it comes from. So if a white Christian does something objectionable, they talk about it for 2 weeks. If a brown snack bar does something objectionable, they try and bury it. It's linked to this. It's all a big political game to them, but that's why they do what they do. It's Marxist political and race theory. And that's why they do what they do. So when this guy blew up a load of women and kids, they brush it under the carpet, and then this drunk Scotsman injures a couple of people, and it's front and centre on the news for 2 weeks. It's preposterous.
Yeah, by the way, people don't understand that the king can suspend parliament and trigger an election. You don't have to wait till 2029. If the party that has the majority right now is doing a shit job, Charles, one of the few things that the king has, he does, usually it would be advisable and the recommendation of the prime minister, but the king, the monarch, can unilaterally do it. It has been done twice already. There is precedent. The king can say, okay, I have no faith in you as government, because even though Charles doesn't govern, he ensures good governance. Do we see any fucking good governance in the United Kingdom as it stands right now?
No, not at all. He's a coward though, isn't he? I think he's taking his orders from Davos, like everybody else. As I said to you, it must be the case. How can an old boomer like Charles be in total lockstep with Trudeau or Merkel? Or because, like I said, I've made this point before on my channel. You can see they're getting ordered because we'll occasionally disagree. I'll occasionally disagree with my dad or my brother or my best friend. We disagree. How can people in the same family, in the same country, disagree more often than little fat German woman, random Canadian man, little Australian fat communist? Every country in the entire Western world. And they're all in lockstep all the time on every single issue.
It's insane.
Isn't it?
And not only that,
So it's obvious.
How can you be lockstep in something that it's so obviously wrong? Even from and I think it's part of the gaslighting, right? Because they say, wait, if so many important people agree with this, you have a problem. The problem is you, not these important people who should have inside information. That is the logic that they apply, and they use their positions to influence, say, no. It's you the problem. It's you the problem. No, it is not right. All the gang rapes or the immigration thing. And the gaslighting that's going on is insane. But Charles, people, and the way that the press, because I believe the press is complicit with this. Oh, the king can't do anything. Yes, he fucking can. He can suspend parliament tomorrow.
Yeah,
To say, I do not have any faith in you. You're gone. And that will trigger an election, and they will have to look for decent candidates. People are asking if Keir Starmer steps down, who's going to put up? Who do you think is going to be put up, Matt?
It's definitely going to be Andy Burnham. That's why they had the election in Makerfield. Definitely. Like, the other people will put the hat in the ring, self-serving scumbags that they are. Al Carnes will put his hat in the ring. I've said that. I'm calling that here first. I haven't even seen it in any media.
I'm
seen it on
surprised
Twitter.
Boris Johnson is not going for it.
Come back into politics as a Labour MP. I mean, he could do it. But I'll call that here. I haven't even seen anyone talking about that, but I guarantee Al Carnes will go for it. Because these self-serving MPs are all scumbags. And he's riding a wave playing off the veteran thing. He might put his hat in the ring, but it's going to be Andy Burnham. I'd put my house on it. If anyone wanted to give me 10-1 odds now, I'll have $1,000 on with them. I'm telling you, it's going to be Burnham. It's going to be Burnham.
They said that here that he's worse than Stammer.
Yeah, Burnham's definitely going to be the Prime Minister. Al Carnes will put his hat in the ring. There'll be some hubris from fat, sweaty incompetents like David Lammy, but none of them have got a chance. The whole reason for that Makerfield by-election was Andy Burnham. Andy Burnham's going to be the next PM.
That is insane. But you know what? We're looking at, I was thinking about this because a lot of people are saying, how can everybody in the United Kingdom simply not demand a new election? Can they do that?
No, because obviously you've got term limits, haven't you? It's the same in America. You can't think about it logically. You can't wait a year and then say Trump has to call another election because we don't like him. If it worked that way, you'd never have consistency. You wouldn't be able to do anything because you'd have an election every 6 months. There's limits and there's rules, and they are legally bound to have a general election before whatever it is, August 2029. But that's it. Up until then, they can do whatever they want in the party. So they can have a different Prime Minister from the Labour Party, selected from the Labour Party, every 2 weeks until then. But they don't have to give us a general election. Legally, they can hold out. Normally, sensible British Prime Ministers, what they do is they wait until it's relatively close and they'll call a general election because they have the power to call a general election early. There's the legally mandated time you have to have one, which is now August 2029. We have 5-year terms instead of 4. But what the sensible PM does, like Boris Johnson did, is they'll call an early one when they're in a strong position. So if Burnham comes in and then in 6 months' time, everyone absolutely loves him and he's done some amazing things and the whole country's like, whoa, Labour are amazing now, he'll call an early election because then he'll guarantee them another 5 years. But so that's what they do. PMs will call early elections. So it's up to them when they have another general election, but they have to have one by the set date in 2029. So unfortunately, they can call early ones, but we can't call early ones because we hate them. That's not how it works.
Did you see, you're talking about King Charles being WEF. He had Zelensky, not at Buckingham Palace, but in his private apartments. He didn't need to take him to the private apartments. And people are looking at him and it's like, what are you doing, mate?
And after all we've seen as well, with these little Ukrainian twinks coming out, there might be some shenanigans going on there, if you know what I mean.
Did you see that though? He invited, and this wasn't even invited by the government. He personally invited Zelensky, and he gave him a tour of his most private apartment. Somebody photoshopped a pink dildo behind him, so it was really funny. I was laughing my ass.
He gave him a tour of his private apartment, and then he pulled him off in the cupboards under the stairs. It's I wouldn't be surprised. And have you seen the videos of Zelensky like dressed up dancing with like a tutu on?
Oh my God! But he was. Was it AI or was it real?
No, it was real. He was doing some super camp dancing a few years ago.
Oh my God! Did you see? Also, I wanted to briefly because we're gonna get going. But did you see that they kicked Katie Hopkins out of a pub, the Dundee Arms?
Yeah, I did see that.
When I go to the United Kingdom, I'm gonna go to that pub and I'm just gonna throw paint at it. Because you know what I mean? I'm gonna make such a mess. Because this is a woman. Yeah, but this is a woman who's fighting for you, stupid idiot. And they're all woke white liberals who are kicking her out for standing up for their rights.
I know. But again, it's par for the course with these people, isn't it? They're violent, they're intolerant. They are everything they accuse you of. That's the truest thing I've ever heard said about them. They are everything they accuse you of. If they say intolerant, bigot, that's what they are. They say you're greedy. The socialists are greedy. Like I told you, we're both doing pretty well, right? I dress like a hobo. I only wear work t-shirts. I haven't wore a Lacoste or a brand for about 10 years. I don't care about jewelry, clothes, cars. I don't spend my money on anything. It's like socialists are obsessed with money. And that's why they're socialists. That Hannah the Greens campaigner, she had a $1,500 blouse on last week in Parliament. AOC going to the Met Gala with the great and the good, wearing a $20,000 dress. These people are just hypocritical scum.
Where aren't they auditing these people? Because what they earn, their salaries, and what they spend does not match.
I know. Look at Pelosi. Pelosi's one of the richest women in America.
She's like now 300, almost 400 million.
$350 million.
No, almost 400 million, I think she is.
Yeah, it's preposterous.
She did some visa. The thing with the visa that everybody knows is insider trading, by the way.
Yeah.
That she sold suddenly, and she was asked up front, and she got angry. How dare you? I can do whatever I want.
I think it's the best example of rules for thee and not for me is the way the politicians in America behave with stocks. Because when I first started working in America, I was surprised at how bad it was. Like, I first started working for an aerospace company in Huntsville, Alabama, about 10 years ago. And this guy, I had to go on a course to learn all the different defense acquisition requirements. It was DFARS. And I got on this course for 2 days, and this lawyer's taken me through, and me and the CEO of the company, he's taken us through all the rules and regulations, and it was mental. It was like, if you're talking with a government official, anything in a business capacity, you can't even let him buy you a coffee. Because if anyone sees it and they audit his company, his government card, and they see there's a coffee on there and it was for you, you've broke all these laws, you can possibly go to prison. I was like, hang on. So you can't buy me a coffee, but Nancy Pelosi can take $100 million off a dozen private companies in order to give them cuts and tax cuts and benefits.
Ask for legislation. And they gave her the insider trading that they were going public.
Yeah.
I have to make a correction. She's not worth 400 million. She's worth 287 million.
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Oh, she's
I was
broke
off
then,
by
sorry.
120 million now, okay?
Yeah.
And her salary, the salary of the speaker is 147,000 before tax. Dollars,
Unbelievable.
not 147 million.
Unbelievable.
And this woman is not being audited?
Preposterous. Look at Biden. You know what's hilarious about Biden? We can end on this one. Biden was in the news a couple of weeks ago, I've seen out here, because he was saying, we have to end these politicians getting rich off contracts and stocks and shares. And I was like, okay, so your entire family, for your entire career, including your son, Hunter was posting about it as well, made a living fleecing all these people. And now you're retired and 88. Now you go, we can't have this. I was like, you detestable hypocrite. Unbelievable. His brother got all the construction work off the US government. His son got all a job at Burisma. And now all of them are out of the corridors of power. Hunter and Joe and his brother are all going, I can't believe we let politicians give people contracts. I was like, oh my God. I couldn't be more. That's like Elton John coming out and having a go at someone for sucking cock. I can't believe men suck cocks. Shut up, Elton. Shut up, Elton.
Elton John is so freak. And you know that lady the lady that I showcased, Lauren. She's the goddaughter of Elton John and George Michaels.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She's fat.
Well, I mean, I'm not slagging Elton John off.
Elton John. When I talk to her, I always no. When I talk to her, I always trash Elton John, and she laughs.
Well, I love Elton John's music. Massive fan of his music.
I don't like his music. His music. I think it's a little weasel. I think he's a weasel.
You don't like
I like George Michael's music.
Road or Rocket Man?
No, I like George Michael. I love George Michael. But maybe it's more my generation. I never liked Elton John's music, ever.
No, I like Elton John. I'm just pointing out that if he was to criticise gay men, it'd be a little bit hypocritical while he's pulling two guys off wearing a sequin hat. It's a little bit hypocritical. Yeah.
No, I always tease Lauren about that because she always says I'm George Michael's goddaughter. Like when we talk, I say, Baya, remember, you also Elton. And she's like, don't.
She's from the great and the good. All right, I'm going to have to go, Laura.
Me too. Thank you for watching, beautiful people. And thank you, Matt. We'll see you soon, guys.
Cheers, Paul. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
See ya.